Hello everyone, welcome to another live stream. So we have moved the live streams to Thursday. I think that's a better day because we have a lot of news and we're going to have a lot more movement than on a Wednesday. So let's get started. Today we did have retail sales. So if you're on TradingView, which I highly recommend you use for chart analysis, you have these small circles on the bottom. And if you click on it, it's a news event. It says retail sales, and then you get all of the numbers. So today you had retail sales, and you had the ECB the ECB interest rate decision. So what you can also do if you want to check out the news is you can go to Forex calendar. So you go to Forex Factory, you go to the calendar, and here you will find also all of the news. So today we had those retail sales, and an actual greater than the forecast is good for the currency. What does that mean? So right here you can see if we click this, the actual number is bigger than the forecast. So that's good for the US dollar. So that is the reason why the euro is going down, right? So this pair is going down because the dollar is gaining in strength. Shahid says, what is the last take profit of gold? Where can we sell? So for gold, I'm not trading gold, but it's looking pretty bullish. Yes, it's looking definitely pretty bullish. Hello, Charles. How are you doing? So the gold is looking pretty bullish, and I don't see any signs of stopping on this daily chart. So I prefer to analyze gold on the daily chart. And I'm just seeing a lot of bullish momentum. I'm seeing maybe, okay, this was a bit of a pullback. This would be like a flag formation as well. First high, first low, second high, second low. And you could be a buyer on this candle right here. So I would say a very bullish scenario on gold, and I would expect more upside to happen on this instrument. But again, I don't trade it on the 1 hour. Not the best. I mean, that is just how gold moves. I have backtested gold, and for some reason, it doesn't trend as well as the Forex pairs. What happens is it moves in sort of these channels. Okay, so it kind of moves from the bottom to the top of the channel overall and trends up. That is the case with gold. So let's jump onto the dollar index on the 1 hour chart. As you can see, we had that spike from the retail sales. The dollar definitely gained some strength right here. And then it's starting to continue, but it's not showing a lot of conviction. It's kind of printing some huge wicks to the upside. Not the best possible scenario, but it is pretty bullish. The daily chart is extremely bullish for DXY. So if you're not familiar, the dollar index measures the strength of the dollar. So if the dollar index is going up, most of the dollar pairs, such as the Euro US dollar, Aussie US dollar, and the pound US dollar, they're going to be trending down. Okay. So very bullish. This is the daily, mind you. And in the price action, we did have this descending channel, which is a bullish pattern. So it's kind of not a surprise that after the descending channel, we actually started trending up with some very strong momentum. And again, absolutely zero signs of slowing down. And I just mean zero signs of slowing down, which may mean that our dollar pairs are going to continue going down, trending down. Okay. Unfortunately, at one point, this was printing a big bullish candle, this one, and then they retraced, printed these huge double wicks. Not the best possible scenario, but this still may continue going down. So what was I seeing in the price action? We had the last live stream on Thursday. We had news. What was it? It was CPI, right? Let me check. Oh, this was PPI. This was CPI. Yeah, okay. So we had CPI, pretty volatile. We had PPI as well. Let me check out the numbers. Okay. And yeah, just the fundamentals for the dollar pairs are for the price to go down. Now, I look at exclusively the technicals to execute a trade. So I'm going to be looking for formations and high probability patterns to actually get in on some possible sell setups, because this is definitely in a downtrend. Now, this whole thing has been descending all the way. We had a clean descending channel right here. It could not play out, unfortunately. Then we had the news that kind of ruined everything. If you were here for the last live stream, you would remember that this news scandal kind of ruined the whole clean descending channel, but that's okay. Then we did continue breaking the lows, retracing. So we continued with the descending structure. And I was looking for some possible reversal patterns, so some possible buy setups, because this sort of a pattern is bullish. Okay, but again, I don't just blindly buy when I see a clean descending channel. I need to see a confirmation. I need to see evidence. I need to see a large impulse up. Okay, only then I will look for buy setups. I don't do anything unless I get that confirmation. In this case, I get the large impulse to the upside. So no possible reversals happened. Nothing. There was no follow through. There was a possible sell setup, and I did have my order on right here. Let me just check if I took any trades last week. I don't think I did. Let me open my Notion. Trade journals, live trade journal. The last trade I took was on the 9th of October. So I did not take any trades from the last live stream. But I had an order on right here. So Charles says that he's listening. Awesome. Keep listening. I did have my order on to sell right here. What was I seeing? Well, I was just focusing on that overall downtrend, right? It was a pretty strong one, pretty strong downtrend. And then I saw this bearish momentum right here. I saw that strong impulse down, pullback, no buying pressure. We continue. Nice clean close on the bottom of this candle right here. Nice clean close. Just a little bit of a wick, tiny wick, not a concern. Whoop. And then I did place my pending sell limit. I think I did 11 pips and I put it 1 pip below. So if this is 666, it was then 656. Why do I put it 1 pip below? Well, because of spreads. Okay. And also the stop loss. Fix the stop loss. Because of the spreads, sometimes price will tap your area like this. It will tap your area, but it won't actually activate your sell limit because of spreads, right? The bid and the ask spread, there is always a bit of a difference between the buyer's price and the seller's price. So I just put it 1 pip below so that I know that there is a high chance if on TradingView the price does hit this level, I'm going to be tagged into the trade with my broker. Okay, so there is a high chance. That is why I just put it 1 pip below and also extend the stop loss by 1 pip. So instead of 10 pips, I go in with 11 pips. All right. Next candle went down even lower. At this point, I didn't really want to see price retrace all the way back up like this. I didn't want to see it. So I did delete that order. I was looking for a potential flag like this. Instead, what we got spread hours. So if you're not familiar with spread hours, they are from 9 to 11 p.m. London time. Okay, 9 to 11 p.m. What happens? Well, usually the bid and the ask spread extend. Okay, so let's say they are usually pretty close to each other. So this is the ask line, this is the buy line or the bid line. In spread hours, this happens. So there's usually like a difference of maybe 10, 15, 20 pips, depending on the currency pair. Euro and US dollar usually has tight spreads, but let's say New Zealand Japanese yen usually it can go to like 20 or maybe even 30 pips during spread hours. So I do not execute any new positions. I just monitor my old positions and I make sure that my stop loss is at least 30 pips away from the current price before spread hours. Okay, so if I was in a sell setup right here, I would put my stop loss. Let's say I took a sell setup right here. Or yeah, let's say I took a sell setup right here and I had, I don't know, a 10 pip stop loss. Well, then right before spread hours, I'll move my stop loss at least 30 pips away from, so like to this level. Okay, something like this. And then after spread hours, I will put it back to 10 pips, but always check on your broker, check the bid line, check the ask line, always check if the spreads have calmed down, because sometimes they do take, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes to actually calm down. So you need to check it on your particular broker. Okay, as you can see, this wouldn't fit the plan. It did tag that level. It did tag the level, but I wanted to see a slower retrace to that level. So at this point, I maybe would have taken a flag if it formed. So we had the first low, first high, second low. I was looking for the second high. Maybe I would have taken a flag. If it came up slowly like this, I would consider it. That didn't happen. Instead, price broke down and then reversed up. Another opportunity I was looking at was right here for a possible reversal trade. Okay, now I know that this is in a big downtrend. As you can see, big downtrend. The fundamentals are extremely bearish, but if I see a descending like this, strong breakup, it is high probability for me to look for a buy setup in this area. It just works. Okay, for me, I did backtest it. There is an edge. There is an edge in that sort of approach. So for me, it is actually worth it to look for a buy setup, because this is an overall descending. If I zoom out, descending is absolutely huge. Right here, you can see most of the time when we break the low, we print a huge wick, right? Most of the time. So it's not looking like a strong downtrend like this. It's more looking like it's correctively going down, like it's struggling to go down. Now this is a very bearish pattern. This is a strong downtrend, but this is a bullish pattern. This is a sign that possibly the sellers are being exhausted and possibly buying will ensue. Okay. So this was just not enough buying pressure. I wanted to see a bit more. I wanted to see a bit of a bigger push up, and then I would definitely be looking for buy setups. Okay. If we had gotten a nice strong bullish candle, I would definitely look for a buy setup. That is one of the reasons why I was waiting for the retail sales to come out, because I knew it was going to be a pretty volatile move, and it had the power of actually pushing the price up if it came out bearish. Unfortunately, it did come out bullish. It came out bullish for the US dollar, but it is what it is. It's part of the game. The market will do what the market wants to do. I cannot change what the market is doing or will do. I can just follow the markets and see if I can get in on the right side with the market. Okay, I cannot fight it. So this did push up at the beginning and then heavy rejection to a downside, heavy sell-off, which followed a bit lower. Now currently huge double wicks on the bottom. That is a big warning sign. But I'm not going to put it on the watch list, to be honest. It's not that good. But if the bearish momentum can continue, I will consider looking for a sell setup. Okay, but I'm going to need that large, strong impulse down. Okay. Next one is EJ, Euro Japanese Yen. Last Thursday was here. I think we did discuss that I was looking for a sell setup in this area. It didn't fit the plan in the end. So just a quick repeat. So I did have a sell setup in. Like this. It was, I think, 18 pips. But the next candle did produce double wicks, and that no longer fit the plan. So I did remove the sell limit. Other than that opportunity right there, there is nothing much else that I saw. Maybe this downtrend, okay? Possibly right here with this selling pressure. Right here as well. I would have taken a sell setup, but again, it just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. What happened next was pretty bad. See, huge double wicks. So yeah, didn't fit the plan. Current price, very flat, very corrective, very range bound. Let me just see the daily quickly. Yeah, okay. So basically, just flat. I'm looking for a breakout to the upside or to the downside. You could make a case that this is descending, which would be a bullish pattern, but I mean, just overall price is pretty corrective, stuck in a flat range. My areas are gonna be right here. Let's see what happens here when we break out, if we break out. And maybe we can get like a nice strong push up like this, clean momentum. Then I would be interested to look for buy setups, okay? So leaving this pair alone, it's pretty flat and corrective, and I'm gonna be waiting for some better price action. I'm gonna say that the dollar pairs look much, much better. See, they're definitely moving, okay? They're definitely a lot more active than the JPY pairs. That is something I can definitely spot. Next one is gonna be the Aussie and the US dollar, okay? But I'm just gonna go grab a glass of water. I'll be back. Okay, we're back. Aussie US dollar. For this one, let me check. From Thursday, nothing much. Nothing much was happening. I did take a loss right here on this liquidity sweep. I did cover it in the last live stream. There's always going to be a recording of the live stream. So when it finishes, if you want to rewatch it or you cannot make the live stream, you can always find the recording on my channel. Okay. So on my YouTube channel, just click on live streams, and there's going to be all of the recordings from the past live streams if you cannot make this one. Okay, so Charles says, why is Euro Japanese yen almost so identical to Aussie Japanese yen? So a lot of the time, the JPY pairs do move in tandem. Okay, so yes, they're both pretty corrective, pretty range bound. NJ is the same story. So usually they will look like this. What is the reason? Why do we trade all three of them? Well, the reason is sometimes you will get an entry. So sometimes the market will be trending like this, and you will get a high probability entry on, let's say, the euro and the Japanese yen, but you won't get an entry on the Aussie Japanese yen. So you will only get an entry on one currency pair. That is why we trade three of them, because all three of them will probably be trending at the same time, but one of them will have a high probability entry, the other two won't. So we don't want to miss that opportunity, and that is why we trade all three of them. We monitor all three of them. And sometimes all three of them will have an entry at the same time. So you take all three, right? It depends. But in most cases, they will be trending in tandem, but only one of them will actually produce a good high probability entry. So yeah, the dollar pair is definitely moving. I mean, it is bad luck that we haven't had a high probability sell entry on any of the dollar pairs. It is what it is. But again, we love these moves. We love to take advantage of these big trends, as you saw right here. This time, they did not produce a high probability entry, but maybe next time on the next big trend, we can get that entry going. Okay. So, what is my analysis? This is descending. This was descending. Right here, descending channel, breaking the lows pretty correctively. Okay, each time we break the low, except here, but all the other times, each time we break the low, there is a lot of weakness, which is a bullish sign. Okay, that is actually a bullish pattern. That is a sign that a possible uptrend will happen. So when we did get this impulse, I was interested to look for buy setups. I definitely was. When did it happen? 2 in the morning. Okay. I wanted to see price continue a bit and then for a buy setup. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Instead, we just broke down with a lot of bearish momentum. So now we're kind of in no man's land. I'm not going to put the Aussie US dollar on the watch list. It doesn't look that great. I'm actually expecting more of a range bound market. Okay. I'm expecting something like this to happen. And I'm just looking for that large push up or a large push down like this. Right. So that is the only thing I'm going to look for, the Aussie and the US dollar. Well, maybe I can give some weight. Maybe I can give some weight to the descending channel right here. And then maybe if we get some large bullish pressure, large bullish momentum, we can look for buy setups. I think that would be a bit more high probability than getting a impulse down. But again, the overall move is down. The fundamentals are very bearish. Okay, so I say that both scenarios will be good. Push up, push down, we just need a push. Okay, we just need momentum. We just need that nice, clean buying or selling pressure like we got here, for example. This was nice. See? Big leg down, pause. Big leg down, pause, leg down. So this is something I want to see happen again. We almost had a good sell entry right here. Unfortunately, it just wasn't high probability enough for me to take. It would be pretty good, but yeah, we weren't that lucky. So it is what it is. Next one is the Aussie and the Japanese yen, and just flat and range bound. As I said, all of the JPY pairs are looking pretty similar. They're all producing this flat range, right? Thursday here, nothing much was happening. Just pretty corrective price action. It doesn't really make much sense for me to even analyze this. I'm definitely not going to put this pair on the watch list. Starting to build some bullish momentum right here, but to be honest, the probabilities are more on the side that this is going to continue doing this. Okay, that is what the probabilities are telling me. But if in some weird case, this can shoot up from here, that would be good to look for a buy setup. Okay, but I'm gonna need a real big conviction. I'm gonna need a real big bullish candle. Okay, a big one like this, and preferably a nice clean close on the top. Then it's good to look for buy setups, right? So something like this, it's gonna be in the cards. But again, not promising. The price action is not looking great. One lesson I can give you out of this is usually when you get these channels going ascending into a descending into another ascending channel, that is a big big red flag. That is a big indication that a further range-bound market is going to happen, okay? So that is a big sign that further range-bound price action will occur. So next one, pound US dollar. Now, the pound has been pretty interesting, I'm not going to lie. Here, it was just shooting down in a very corrective fashion, okay? Very corrective channel, very corrective fashion. And a descending channel, or not a corrective channel, but a very clean descending channel. Again, a descending channel is actually a bullish pattern, right? So I was expecting for us to get possibly a strong uptrend, right? Notice each time that we break the low, we retrace. So there is a lot of weakness as we keep breaking these lows. We just keep getting weakness, weakness, weakness. Then we broke the high, broke the structure. We didn't get that massive push up, so that was pretty bad. That was not a good sign. We then dropped down and we continued with the descending structure right here on the bottom. Again, just barely breaking these lows. This candle broke this major low and just retraced. And then we went down even more, broke this low, retraced, broke this low, retraced, push up. So at this point, I was interested to look for a buy setup. I was interested to get in on a possible reversal uptrend, okay? Because that is one of the patterns that I look for. I look for a descending channel, push up, which is the signature, that is the confirmation, and then a nice high probability entry point, okay? Right here after that bullish momentum. That is what I look for. So that is what I was looking for here, but unfortunately, the news, the retail sales, kind of messed up my my game plan. Okay, they messed up the game plan. Again, I cannot fight the market. I can just keep monitoring the market and readjust my game plan, and then follow what the market is telling me. So we had this. Now this is pretty bad. This is a pretty indecisive candle. It has a large wick up, huge wick down. Usually after this candle, you'll just get a range. You'll get ranging price action. And then the next candle was even worse. Okay, the next candle was pretty bearish, had a huge wick as well. Now we are rejecting. So as I said, after this candle, you usually get a range-bound market. I would not be surprised if something like this happens. That is the reason why I'm not going to put this pair on the watch list. Overall, it is pretty interesting. If this can shoot up, give me some very strong bullish momentum, I would be interested to look for buy setups. Overall, on a large scale, on the big picture stuff, we are definitely descending, right? Which is a bullish pattern. We're definitely descending. Not just we're descending, we're also having, let's say, a smaller descending inside of a larger one, right? So this small one right here on the bottom inside of this larger structure. So that is a pretty bullish sign. But again, I need the confirmation. What I just saw right here was not enough. It was not enough bullish pressure. I'm going to need for the price to shoot up, and then I would look for buy setups. What are the issues behind that? Well, as we know, dollar is rapidly gaining strength. We're overall in a downtrend. The fundamentals are very strong for the US dollar. So that could be a negative. I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to look at the technicals. I'm going to make my decision. And if a high probability entry forms, if it's a no-brainer, I'm going to execute. I'm going to get in on that buy setup. If it goes down, then I'm going to have to reevaluate. Okay. One thing that can also happen, we can continue descending, at which case I will look for a buy setup a bit later. So it's tricky. It's tricky. It's not the cleanest. It's not the best. And time to move on to NJ. NJ, pretty flat. Pretty flat. Last Thursday was right here. If you're wondering, I'm focusing on the last 3 to 5 days of price action on the 1 hour chart to make my trading decisions. Yes, sometimes I do zoom out, sometimes I take a look at the 4 hour or daily, but again, my main decision making for each trade happens on the analysis of the last 3 to 5 trading days. So something like this. And I focus on the technicals. If the technicals print a nice high probability entry point or trade, I will get in, even though the fundamentals, let's say, are against the trade. Meg, hello, what's up? How are you doing? So this is flat on this 1 hour chart, pretty flat, pretty range bound. One high probability pattern that I do see, it's not the best, but it is there, is the V reversal. That is a bullish pattern if you're wondering, right? So this V reversal right here, usually what happens is you get a V, you get a range, and then you get a push up, and then you get an uptrend, okay? So yes, overall structure, it is flat, it is range bound, but I am also seeing this pattern, this V, I am seeing the range, and I'm seeing the start of a potential bullish story. So you know what? Let's put NJ on the watch list. Let me just check on AJ quickly. If AJ continues going up, it's gonna be good. Like if you can get a big blue candle, that would be nice. But NJ, I think, looks better. Especially also, this was kind of a liquidity sweep. So if you don't know what a liquidity sweep is, probably on the 4 hour, these wicks swept these lows, just pushed into the lower liquidity, rejected. That may be a good bullish sign depending on how you interpret it. I would not put too much weight on it, to be honest. I'm gonna put all the weight on the V reversal and the range and the push up. Is this enough momentum? It's definitely not. Definitely not enough momentum for me. Just by a visual assessment. I'm gonna need either for this candle to do this, or even better, for the next candle, for this one to print a clean close, and the next candle to do this. Then that would be enough momentum, and I would be interested to look for potential buy setups, okay? So that is my game plan on NJ. Again, nothing is looking great. Nothing is looking very high probability. It's all looking interesting, but not that interesting, right? Somewhere between being valid, the current price action is somewhere between being valid and high probability. I'm not seeing any clear-cut opportunities yet. Meg, how much time did you take to become profitable? I think it took 2 years, 1.5 years, 2 years, definitely something like that. It's a journey. It's a journey. It takes years. Okay, it definitely takes years to become consistently profitable in the markets. If you have a step-by-step plan, if you join a good education service or a good trading community, you can shorten that journey to consistency. But in all cases, it's going to take much longer than you expected. Okay, than you expect. So what usually a good rule of thumb is, so humans tend to overestimate how much they can accomplish in a year, but they tend to underestimate how much they can accomplish in a decade, right? So most people think they're gonna master trading in 1 year, in a couple of months. Doesn't happen. They can do it in, let's say, 1-2 years, and then in that decade they can really make some great profits, even more than they initially think. So you need to have a longer time span, long-term thinking, and this is like getting a degree. Okay, same thing like going to college. It takes, what is it, 6-7 years to become a doctor, depending on your country, and it's that is for a reason, right? You cannot just watch a couple of YouTube videos on how to perform an operation, a brain surgery, and then actually do it. You have to study for 7 to 8 years before you can maybe start performing some minor operations. So trading is the same way. It takes a long time, much longer than you expect, to become consistently profitable. But once you do, it is worth it. Like any endeavor that is hard in life, once you do accomplish it, once you do accomplish it, then it is very rewarding, right? Anything that is worth doing is hard, takes some time, but that is why it is worth doing. 6 years, you mean to become a doctor? Or I think it's 6 years to become a doctor in Croatia as well. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's definitely more than 5. Okay, so S&P. Now we're going to run through some very popular instruments, see what they're doing. I have tested my strategy on the S&P and on gold as well. The results were not that great, so I'm going to keep working on it. I'm going to keep backtesting, but I'm going to have to change some things up. I'm going to have to change up some criteria, okay? So yes, so it's 6 years to become a doctor. Okay, that makes sense. S&P, focusing on the daily, it's looking very bullish. Okay, it's looking very bullish. I mean, there is just no sign of stopping. The momentum is looking pretty good, pretty strong. All right. Charles says a minute for the ride. Better him teaching me than HS TikToky. I didn't hear about that guy. I guess he's on TikTok, or I'm on TikTok as well. So but it's much better for you to see the reality of trading and to learn the truth now than after you lost 5 grand in the markets. That is kind of what happened to me. I didn't lose 5 grand, but I did come into trading thinking it's gonna be very quick, thinking I'm gonna learn it just in a couple of months and I'm gonna be printing money. In 6 months, I'm gonna be very well off. I'm gonna be able to just quit university and just trade, make the money, do nothing, right? And I learned, it took me a while, but I did learn in the end that you cannot get rich quickly with trading. You can get rich slowly, right? It's going to take a decade, but you cannot get rich quickly in trading. You can lose a lot of money quickly. That you definitely can. So one anecdote that I know is, so I did an internship at a real prop firm where like there's a owner of the prop firm and he has like, I don't know, 8 people trading his capital and he teaches them how to trade. They all come in at 7 in the morning. They leave at 8 p.m. in the evening. So they are there for the whole day. They are trading. And what he said, when he has a new trader that comes to his prop firm, usually they just tend to reverse trade all of the positions of that new trader. So if the new trader is buying the euro and US dollar, most of the experienced guys are going to take that as a signal and they're going to be selling the euro and the US dollar. What is the reason? Well, most likely when you first come into the markets, you're going to be wrong about every single trade. So that is something you can do. Maybe if you have a friend or a brother who wants to start to trade, you can just take the complete opposite of his positions, and most likely you will actually make some money. Meg says, what is your highest win, sir? I think my biggest winner was 2 grand, €1.5 I think, something like that. That was on the personal. If you're thinking in monetary terms, that was in January 2023. That was absolutely huge winner. So yeah, S&P, S&P right here. I think it's gonna go. I mean, I cannot think. I could just tell you that this looks bullish. I don't see any signs of stopping for the S&P. Nasdaq, not as good as the S&P, but if the S&P goes up, you can bet that Nasdaq is going to follow suit, right? Because they are very connected, right? Nasdaq follows the S&P. So it's not looking as good, but if the S&P goes up, this is going to go up. Gold, very bullish actually with this current candle. Very, very bullish. Nice big break, nice clean close right here. So Gold is just continuing to shoot up 1 hour. That's pretty corrective. And this is kind of the reason why my Forex strategy doesn't really work on gold, because gold tends to move in these channels most of the time. So it's not really clean. It doesn't have big swings and small pullbacks like Forex does. Instead, it moves in these channels from the low to the high, from the low to the high, from the low to the high. But yeah, gold is very bullish. Very, very bullish. I don't see any signs of stopping for gold. Silver. Silver is not looking that good. Usually silver does follow the gold market. So if the gold goes up drastically, you can bet that silver is going to go up as well. It's kind of the same story. So if you look at S&P, look at the S&P, very bullish. Look at the Nasdaq. Not as bullish, but it will follow the S&P. Same thing here. Look at gold, right? Pretty bullish. Look at silver. Not as bullish, but it's going to follow gold. Same thing with Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. Look at Ethereum. Ethereum is much more bearish, but Ethereum will follow Bitcoin. So that is kind of how the things go. Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin had some developments. I'm going to go through that. Sir, do you trade Forex? Yeah, so I trade currently live trade only these 6 currency pairs. Okay, EU, EJ, AU, AJ, Pound, and NJ. I only live trade these 6 currency pairs. And I am looking into these ones, right? But for now, I'm not live trading them. I'm just back testing them. These are the ones I focus on. So you could say that I only trade Forex because I do. I do only trade Forex. I'm a Forex trader for now. Okay, Bitcoin. So some traders state that Bitcoin did break out of this trend line. Okay, if you can put a trend line right here. See, it did break out. One problem with that is I was just on Trader Nick's live stream, and we were discussing this. Channel trend lines are pretty hard to follow because everyone draws them a bit differently. So I may put it like this. You may put the trend line like this. Right? You may put it like this. You may connect this top, this low, and this low. Right? So everyone does it a bit differently. But one thing that most people do in a similar fashion is horizontal levels, right? So everyone knows that this major high is going to be very, very important. It's going to be a very important level. There's no doubt, right? Everyone knows that this 73.8 is going, or 73,800 is a big, big psychological level, and it is very, very important. And if it breaks out, there's going to be a big reaction. Right? There's going to be a big, big reaction. That is why I think it's better to focus on the horizontal levels, such as what we have with the liquidity sweep. So we find the range like this, and we're looking to buy the bottom and we're looking to sell the top, right? I think it's much better to focus on the horizontal levels than it is to focus on the channel levels and trend lines. Trend lines are much tougher to put on, and there's a lot more discretion. So that is just a quick observation that I had, or that Trader Nick had. Major high. So yes, this did break out of this trend line. It did, but I'm looking at the major high. I'm looking at this. So I'm not going to count Bitcoin as being bullish. Meg says, sir, can I ask some questions about trading? If they're going to be too long, I suggest you go to zentumtrading.com. Okay. Join the free Discord. I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay, go to zentumtrading.com, join the free Discord, and you can ask detailed questions, big questions, small questions, lots of questions, whatever you want. You can ask it in the free Discord. Right now it's a live stream, so I don't really have a lot of time to answer complex questions. But again, join the Zenton Trading Free Discord. You can also find my profile on there. You can send me a DM and you can ask whatever you want. I'll be glad to help. Okay. So for all of the big questions, join the Discord, send a message in the Discord, or send me a DM. You'll find me in there. Back to the show. Bitcoin major high. I'm looking at what will happen when we break. So I'm not making any decisions. I have my levels set. This is the low level. This is the high level, and I'm not going to have a bias until we break one of these. Yes, it is a good sign that we're starting to see some bullish momentum for Bitcoin, but it's not that convincing, to be honest. Ethereum is just crashing. To be honest, it's a very bearish story for Ethereum. I think the drawdown is, or the retrace is 35%. That's pretty significant. And the DXY. Now the DXY is okay, we have US oil, but DXY is pretty important. I just went through it at the beginning of the live stream. But if you don't know what is the DXY, it is the US dollar index. And if this thing goes up, you can bet that EU, AU, and GU will all go down, right? And this is looking very bullish. So this index is looking very, very bullish. I have to say DXY is looking very bullish. It is just showing some very clean price action on the daily chart as well. Mind you, this is the daily chart. Nice descending channel right here on the bottom, okay? It's okay. It's nothing to write home about, but it is okay. And then some really clean, really good bullish momentum. See, big push up, pull back, no selling pressure, push up, pull back, no selling pressure, and then another one, and then momentum continues as well. 1 hour chart, let's check it out. Would there be any high probability entries on the 1 hour? Some flags, but they're not really super high probability. Yeah, I'm not seeing super high probability entries. What I can say is there is just no sign of stopping for the DXY currently. So this just looks to be going and going and going. And as far as if this continues to go up, all of these ones will go down. So you could look for a sell setup, right? Your edge. The edge behind this analysis is if the DXY is in a big bullish uptrend, big bullish story, you can look for sell setups on your dollar pairs, right? It's going to be more high probability to execute sell setups on your dollar pairs. Is it something I take into account? No, not really. Again, I treat every pair separately. I only look at the chart. I only look at the technicals for that specific pair. But again, it's fun to analyze other instruments as well, and look into what else is out there. Next one is going to be US oil. US oil just looks super bad. I could never find any clean movement in US oil. It's so choppy. And I really do not like choppy markets. At this point, it was good. Let me check it on the 1 hour. Come on, load. It was a nice uptrend. But that was kind of the only good thing. And now even that died out. We had a complete reversal, lots of selling pressure. Okay, lots of selling pressure right here. So just nothing. Maybe this can print a inverse V reversal, which would be a bearish pattern. Okay. For now, it's kind of a no man's land right here. So for US oil, I could not give you a bias. I could not give a bias. 1 hour, I mean, it's just corrective. I don't like how the US oil moves. If you go through the pairs, if you go through all of these instruments on, let's say, just focus on the 1 hour chart, go through the Forex ones, go through indices, go through metals, go through crypto, go through oil. You'll see every single instrument moves a bit differently. There are slight differences, and US oil on the 1 hour chart looks completely different than, let's say, a Forex pair. See? Forex pairs move I would say, in a much cleaner fashion, much cleaner fashion. So in my opinion and my experience, the Forex pairs are easier for me to execute a trade on. They're easier for me to read. That is why I do focus on Forex. And also the S&P, as I just said, it moves in channels. See? It's a big fat channel. Here we were pretty bullish. But again, here it's moving up, but it's moving more in a channel. So the uptrends or the downtrends are not as explosive as our Forex pairs. So yeah, just wanted to cover that. You need to know, that is what you need to know. You need to take that from this live stream. Every single instrument moves a little bit differently, and that is why a strategy that works on Forex may not work as well on the S&P. You may need to readjust some things. You may need to change up the strategy even. So you definitely need to backtest every instrument for itself. You cannot backtest, let's say, a couple of Forex pairs and then trade every instrument the same as you would those Forex pairs. You must backtest every instrument. You must prove that you can make money in the backtesting on that specific instrument. Only then can you start live trading that instrument. So you need to have your research prepared. You need to have already proven that you can make money on that specific instrument. Only then does it come the time to actually trade that instrument live. So we have come to the end of the live stream. If you guys have any final questions, make sure to put them in the chat. For any other questions, join the free Discord. Go to zentumtrading.com. It's in the description. I'm gonna put it as a banner as well. Join the free Discord. Ask anything you want. Become a paid member if you want to learn how to go from zero to becoming a consistently profitable trader. Or you can reach out personally to me, send me a DM on Discord, and we will cover any questions that you have. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you next week. Probably gonna be on Thursday or Wednesday. I'm not sure. I have a trip next week, so I will update you. Follow my Instagram for all the updates, okay? The Instagram will be in the description of this live stream. The name of my Instagram is, let me put that in the chat as well. So it is Marcos Trading Journey. It's in the chat. The Instagram, I have all of the updates, all of the times for the live streams are there. So thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.